Welcome to our deep dive into generative AI. I know there's a lot of buzz around this topic, but also a lot of, well, misinformation.
Definitely.
So today we're going to be looking at a stack of articles and research papers and notes,
Yeah.
all about generative AI, and we're going to be separating fact from fiction,
Right.
helping you guys navigate this exciting but sometimes confusing technology. So, are robots really going to steal all of our jobs?
Well, let's tackle that myth head on right away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Those headlines can be a little bit alarming,
Yeah, they are.
but the reality is a lot more nuanced.
Right.
AI isn't necessarily replacing jobs completely,
Okay.
but oh yes, transforming them.
Hmm.
For example, one of your articles highlights a study showing that companies that use AI for data entry save an average of 15 hours a week.
Wow.
That's huge.
Oh.
So think of it this way. AI is taking on a lot of those repetitive tasks, freeing up humans to focus on more creative and strategic work.
I see what you're saying. So instead of being afraid of AI as like a competitor, we should really think about it as a collaborator.
Precisely. A collaborator.
That makes a lot of sense, especially with this growing need for like complex problem solving in the workplace.
Yeah, you need those uniquely human skills now more than ever.
Exactly. Okay, so AI isn't coming for us all, at least not yet.
Right.
But what about this idea that AI is always accurate? Can we just blindly trust everything that it generates?
That's a really good question. The simple answer is no.
Oh,
We can't just assume that AI is always going to get things right. Remember, AI learns by analyzing huge data sets, but it doesn't really understand the information the same way that we do.
right.
It's more about recognizing patterns.
Okay.
And this means that it can actually make mistakes,
Mm.
sometimes quite confidently, which researchers call hallucination.
Hallucination.
Yes.
That's a little unnerving. Is that because the models are trained on such massive data sets that they pick up spurious correlations or misinterpret information?
Yes, sometimes the sheer volume of data can lead to those kinds of errors. Think about ChatGPT, which you included in your source material.
Oh.
It's impressive, but it can still give incorrect answers, especially when it comes to technical or historical details.
Right.
Yeah.
So just because a response sounds confident doesn't necessarily mean it's accurate.
Exactly.
Human oversight is still so crucial then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We see similar issues with AI image generators like Midjourney.
Mm-hmm.
You can get these amazingly detailed visuals, but they might have subtle inaccuracies. For example, an image might have anatomical errors
Right.
that a human artist would never make. So it's a good reminder that while AI is a powerful tool, it's not like a magic oracle.
Right. It's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
Okay, two myths down. But what about this one? That AI is only for tech experts.
Right.
That you need coding skills to use it effectively. I have to admit that one's always made me feel a little left out.
Well, it's a common misconception, and honestly, it's becoming increasingly outdated.
Really?
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many AI tools are becoming so user-friendly, you don't need any coding skills at all.
Mm.
You've probably used some of these tools without even realizing it.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, think about Canva, for example.
Okay.
It uses AI to simplify design,
Uh-huh.
make it easy for anyone to create professional-looking graphics,
Okay.
or DLLE, where you can type in a description,
Right.
and the AI generates an image based on your words.
Oh, wow. I have used those. And
Yeah.
I was surprised by how easy they were to use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's Jasper.ai, which can help with things like writing marketing copy,
Okay.
even if you're not a professional writer.
Wow.
The point is, AI is becoming more accessible every day.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to experiment and see what you can create.
Yeah. That's exciting.
It is.
Yeah. It really is amazing to see just how far these tools have come in just a few years.
Right.
It feels like we've gone from AI being this sci-fi concept to it being something that's like integrated in so many aspects of our lives.
Absolutely. And the speed of development is really remarkable. I remember when the first AI image generators were creating these surreal, almost dreamlike images.
Right.
And now we have tools that can produce like photorealistic images with incredible detail, even mimicking specific art styles,
Yeah.
all based on a few words.
It's like having an entire creative team at your fingertips.
It is.
And it's not just limited to visual art, is it?
No, not at all.
You mentioned AI-powered music generation in our prep notes.
Yeah, absolutely. There are tools out there now that can compose original music in various genres,
Wow.
from classical to electronic.
Really?
Yeah, and we can't forget about AI writing assistants, which can help you overcome writer's block or help you structure a story.
Oh, right.
It seems like every creative field is being touched by AI in some way.
It's exciting, but it also makes you wonder what comes next.
For sure.
Okay, so we've talked about the creative potential, but I'm also curious about the practical applications. Like, what are some real-world examples of how AI is being used in different industries right now?
Well, healthcare is a great example.
Okay.
You have AI algorithms analyzing medical images to detect early signs of diseases like cancer,
Right.
often with even greater accuracy than human doctors.
Wow.
And it's not just about diagnosis. AI can also personalize treatment plans based on an individual's genetic makeup and lifestyle factors.
So AI is literally helping to save lives.
Absolutely it is.
That's incredible. What about other fields?
Well, in finance, we're seeing a lot of innovation with AI being used to detect fraudulent transactions, assess credit risk, and even provide personalized investment advice.
Interesting.
And in manufacturing, there's a huge push towards AI-powered robots, automating assembly lines, and optimizing production processes.
Right.
This leads to increased efficiency and reduced costs, which can have a significant impact on the bottom line.
It sounds like AI is revolutionizing almost every sector of the economy.
It really is.
It's both fascinating and a little bit
I
daunting.
agree.
We can't ignore the potential downsides either.
Right.
There's been a lot of discussion about the risks of AI, things like job displacement or the development of autonomous weapons systems.
Uh-huh.
How do we make sure that AI is used responsibly and ethically as it becomes more powerful?
That's the crucial question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a conversation that we need to have on an ongoing basis as these technologies evolve.
Right.
Establishing clear ethical guidelines for AI development and use is definitely a priority.
Okay.
There are organizations like the Partnership on AI, which brings together researchers, policymakers, and industry leaders to develop best practices and ensure that AI development aligns with human values.
So it's about creating a framework for responsible innovation rather than letting things develop unchecked.
Exactly.
What else needs to be considered?
Well, transparency and accountability are also vital.
Okay.
We need to understand how these algorithms are making decisions,
Right.
and there need to be mechanisms in place to hold them accountable if they cause harm.
Mm.
If we can't understand the decision-making process, it's hard to fully trust the outcome.
That makes sense, especially as AI systems become more complex and integrated into critical areas like healthcare or finance.
Yeah, the stakes are high.
Is there anything else that's important to consider in terms of responsible AI development?
I think inclusivity is a big one.
Okay.
We need to ensure that the people who are building AI systems represent the diversity of humanity.
Right.
If it's only a narrow group designing these systems, they'll reflect those biases and values, which may not be aligned with the broader population.
So it's not just about technological advancement, but also about social responsibility,
Yes.
making sure that AI benefits everyone, not just a select few.
That's the goal.
It seems like that's a theme that keeps coming up in this deep dive. AI is a powerful tool, but it's how we choose to use it that really matters.
That's a great point, and it connects directly to the broader conversation about the future of work, the economy, and even society as a whole.
Right.
AI has the potential to reshape our world in profound ways, and it's up to all of us to guide its development in a direction that benefits humanity.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from debunking myths to exploring the potential and the challenges of AI.
We have.
What are your final thoughts for our listener today? What key takeaways would you like to leave them with? Before we started this deep dive, I have to admit I was a little intimidated by AI. All the talk about algorithms and machine learning kind of made my head spin.
Yeah, it can feel like a very technical field, especially with all the jargon.
But after spending some time with these sources, I'm actually feeling a lot more optimistic.
That's great.
It's clear that AI has the potential to address some of the world's biggest challenges, like climate change or disparities in healthcare access.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah.
And what's really struck me is the emphasis on collaboration in your materials.
Oh, yeah.
We can't just leave AI development to tech companies or governments.
Right.
We need diverse voices at the table, including ethicists, social scientists, even artists.
That's such a good point. Bringing together all these different perspectives and areas of expertise is so important
It is.
to make sure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Right, and it all comes back to that idea of responsible innovation.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's where our role as informed citizens comes in.
Okay.
We need to stay engaged in this conversation. We need to ask tough questions, and we need to hold those in power accountable.
So it's not just about passively consuming information.
Yeah.
It's about actively shaping the future of AI.
Exactly. The more we engage in these conversations, the more we can work towards ensuring that AI is used to create a more just equitable and sustainable world.
It's been fascinating to explore all these different facets of AI with you today. We've debunked some common myths, delved into this incredible potential, and grappled with the challenges that come with such a transformative technology.
It really has been a thought-provoking journey,
It has.
and I hope our listener feels empowered to continue exploring this incredible field. AI is constantly evolving,
Right.
so staying curious and continuing to learn is essential.
Well said. And on that note, it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive into the world of generative AI.
It's been a pleasure.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. What are your hopes and fears about AI? What questions do you still have after exploring these materials? What resonated with you the most?
Remember, the future of AI isn't predetermined.
Right.
It's up to all of us to shape it.
Until next time, keep diving deep.